The city of Buffalo is actually a lot bigger than most people think, especially when you start talking about North Towns, South Towns, and everywhere in between. Now, let's go over all these different areas, give you a full explanation of these areas so that you know where you are, where you potentially want to be, and if there's some areas that you haven't discovered. Now that we're on the computer, guys, this is one thing that I'm going to show you guys. We got the city of Buffalo here. You guys know I don't over romanticize when it comes to the North and South Towns. Here's how I break it up right here. Very simple. You take Buffalo here and you draw a nice line through it. Everything up here is north. Everything down here is southern, South Town. So everything is so different in Buffalo. Every neighborhood offers a different vibe, as we talked about earlier. So basically, if we're looking down here, right here, this is pretty much the downtown Buffalo area. So, I mean, you have a bunch going on down here. I mean, Pearl Street, the Big Ditch. I mean, a bunch of restaurants, the clubs, Chippewas down here. I mean, Broadway, Genesee, Dinosaur Barbecue. So you'll really find a lot of your club around. This is where City Hall is down here. Everything, Buffalo City Hall is right here. So, I mean, you got a bunch of different things going on downtown. As you start heading up this way, you start to get into the west side as we push this way. So as you're just pushing northwest up here this way, you really start to get more and more into the west side areas. If you're starting to head more this way, so east, you start to get more into the east side. So, I mean, there's a bunch of things that Buffalo has to offer. Now, where are the parts of town everybody talks about? This is two big ones here in particular. So you got Elmwood Village. Elmwood Village, everybody knows this as a super walkable area. This is where everybody hangs out. This is where everybody goes. Very walkable. Restaurants, dinner, diners, coffee, cafes. I mean, there's so much to do on Elmwood. It's insane. So, and this is actually another key part, which is Chaplin's Parkway and Soldier Circle. This is a very dope sight to see. A lot to do over here. Now in Elmwood Village, I mean, you're gonna start off around 400,000. I mean, easily, especially if you're in Bidwell, Chaplin, or anywhere close over here, you're gonna pay a lot of money when it comes to living and expenses. I mean, but it's honestly one of the hearts of the city where everybody is. And then the second part is not too far from there. This is actually Forest Lawn and then Delaware Park. So all of this is starting to get more into what we call North Buffalo. So we pretty much started downtown. This is all the west side here. The lower west side has always been very nice. Always been very nice near Kleinhans. This is very close to Allentown, which is right next door here. Everybody hears about Allentown. Very big party area. A lot of traffic in Allentown, though. I always described it to people. Allentown is dope. Very artsy. I mean, the scene is great down there, but it's a lot of traffic. What comes traffic, comes people, and comes petty crimes as well, too. That is definitely, I had an experience down there. We all went out. This is probably like last year, too. This is crazy. We all went out. I didn't drive, but my friend's car got broken into. I don't know if the dude left the doors unlocked or what, but my house keys and my car keys is in there. So I had to go get brand new car keys. I mean, and my friend the same. And you know, car keys is expensive these days. They are not cheap whatsoever. Car keys for some odd reason is $400. I don't get it. Like, why are car keys $400? But that's here nor there. Anyways, Allentown is a dope area. Don't get me wrong. I tell people everywhere, whether you live in East Amherst in $1 million home or you live in $100,000 home, lock your car doors. He didn't do that day. We all got new car keys. The good thing is car wasn't gone, but nonetheless, and I was broken into. But a lot of traffic down here. Again, a very good time down here. You will kind of find a lot of homeless people in Allentown too. Even though it's dope, it's a very good scene. You'll find a lot of homeless people in Allentown. Nonetheless, the Lower West Side, literally up the street. This is a decent area. Duville College takes up a lot of it. There are some not so good streets over in the Lower West Side as well. But the closer you kind of get to Front Park, Porter, Lakeview, and all these over here, these are pretty decent. These are not too bad. But a couple of these streets in here are where the West Side really starts to get its name. Where it's really coming up, Left Bank, Massachusetts, Essex. These areas are dope over here. Very nice area. And then you have, so this is how West Ferry really breaks up. It's kind of crazy. All of these in here. So this in between area in here. Let's take West Ferry. This is by Rich Products, literally right by the water. Richmond, nice, very nice street. West Ferry, closer to this side of Rich Products. This entire strip right here is almost being rebuilt. So if I take my pen and you draw everything down Niagara, I mean, that's a terrible line, but everything down Niagara right now, all this entire strip is literally being redone, and they are doing a lot of work, bringing a lot of money over there. Literally right at Rich Products, there's supposed to be a movie theater production studio literally right on this corner over here, one of these two corners, which is I think it actually does, it actually splits West Ferry. So they're supposed to be doing a movie studio right on these two corners right here, which is wavy. So if you can pick something up over there, that's a good spot. Only thing about the West Side, a lot of the houses are close together, just like majority of the city. But let's continue to move on. I could talk about all day about the West Side. Elmwood Village, everybody knows about for the most part. Albright, very expensive area again, but look where you are. You're right near Delaware Park. So the city of Buffalo is actually getting a new layout and map. Every 10 years, they do the rebranding of the map, rebranding of the different neighborhoods, which is nice. All of this is different. So the crazy part is this. Here's the crazy part about the new map that's coming out. The sections are different. So I think this is called like Ellicott or something like that. Here, let me actually pull this up. Let me see if I can go to Instagram real quick. This is really nice because this is actually what the new map is supposed to look like. So this is all literally going to change. You can see this is going to be called Niagara, Ellicott. So they're taking her out, the west, they're taking out Fillmore and they calling it Ellicott now. Lovejoy, South Buffalo, Northwest. So they kind of taken out of North Buffalo itself and they calling it Northwest now. Delaware is different, Maston University. So it's breaking it down into 9 districts, I think 9 or 10 districts instead of the 31 we got right now or whatever it is. So, and they're doing this because a lot of people are moving differently. Again, Buffalo had a long history of redlining and, keeping certain people in certain sections. Over this past 10, 15, 20 years, man, things have changed. I keep telling people things in Buffalo are changing, and it is for the better, which is amazing to see. And that helps too, because a lot more people are moving back inside the city. In the West Side, for instance, this is becoming a huge melting pot. East Side, you guys know this is where the shooting happened. Over in off Jefferson at the tops over there. Still very tough to talk about. Not something that we're gonna get into today. But the East Side, this area, this Broadway, Fillmore area, this is where the Central Terminal is supposed to be coming back to. So this is going to move up a very big area for this is going to put a lot of money in this area, which is excellent. I mean, this area needs it for a lot of years. This area has been forgotten about. It's not even saying that people trying to forget about it, but this area has been forgotten about. A lot of, I mean, what you see on the west side, North Buffalo, South Buffalo, I mean, it's nothing on the east side that even compares to that, but that's all turning around, which is excellent. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But let's get inside the North Towns a little bit. Kenmore, dope area. You guys already seen that vlog. This is one of the dopest villages. In all honesty, Kenmore, you're going to find that kind of like 4-square bungalow style home. Very, very walkable. Your main sources of contact is going to be Coven, Kenmore right here, right behind it, and then also Delaware. Delaware is really gonna be, and Sheridan too, but Delaware close to that over there is gonna be one of your main contacts when it comes to the village of Kenmore. A lot of things going on up and down Delaware, and definitely helps. I mean, you literally have everything over there. Elmwood has a lot to offer over there too, as far as, you know, your all of your amenities as far as what you need, eat, grocery shopping, things like that. But Kenmore is a real nice area, especially once you get into the heart of the village over here. So swinging on into Brighton, Tonawanda area, all Tonawanda, Brighton. This is kind of one of the things that people think of Tonawanda as is definitely a lot of ranches over here when it comes to real estate. A lot of ranches. It's not as diverse as I would like to see it, but a lot of, again, everybody is shape shifting, man. Demographics are definitely changing everywhere, which is really, really nice to see. But Brighton, this is a dope area. Brighton is a dope area, and it really over by Coven Estates and Green Acres North. I like this area heavily, personally, because of the ranch style homes. You guys know I love ranches, so I'm a little biased, but because it's so close to Niagara Falls Boulevard, you literally, if you live in Brighton, you don't have to leave your area. Like you literally can. You have more than enough over here to never leave. Like you don't need you. Never have to go to the city if you don't need to, besides if you want to go party or something. But other than that, this I wouldn't walk over there per se, because you have to cross Niagara Falls Boulevard, and that's always a busy street. But 2-minute drive to anything you need, and that's really Buffalo rap everywhere. Amherst, Cheektowaga, I mean, it really doesn't matter. You have a plaza close by you every single place you turn. We're spoiled up here. Like, that's one thing I do always tell people. We're very, very spoiled. Everything we need, every single town, every single neighborhood has a plaza, grocery store, gym, all your amenities. It's 5 minutes away from you, like everywhere. Amherst. So Amherst is obviously huge. It is the biggest suburb in Buffalo. Yeah, I think it has 125 something people. So Amherst pretty much, I would say, starts right after you cross Kensington. So here's Kensington here. Amherst pretty much starts this way. So where's my trusty dusty riding tool? So Amherst pretty much starts this way. Again, we're staying in the North Towns. Amherst is the North Towns of the North Towns, if that even makes sense. Amherst, you're pushing this way. Amherst doesn't stop literally until you get past. So this is East Amherst. Basically all of Amherst will literally stop way up here. Probably a little bit further. Probably right before you get to Swarmsville. This is pretty much where Amherst stops. So you got here all the way down. Ooh, blew that thing out, didn't I? Amherst pretty much stops here and doesn't start again until about, so you got from here all the way to about here is Amherst. All of this is pretty much Amherst. This is a terrible, when I mean terrible box, that's pretty much all of Amherst right there. Williamsville is going to be tucked away right over here. And it literally borders the two. So remember how I said Kensington is here. So if you split that, if you split Kensington right here, boop. Williamsville is like this little bubble right in there. And below that is Cheektowaga. So Cheektowaga will be down here and here, all in there. So, I mean, very dope areas, a lot to offer. Williamsville, again, to me, is one of the most walkable areas as well. You have Main Street, takes up everything. You have Glen Falls, which is up here. If you guys never seen Glen Falls, I highly recommend you guys go down there and check it out. Glen Falls is probably, it's nowhere near as obviously gigantic as Niagara Falls, but is literally a running falls, and it's amazing to see. I mean, beautiful sight. If you guys just want to go sit out there and just listen and just be in nature, be one with nature, Glen Falls is definitely a really, really dope place. So now swinging on, let's get into the South Towns a little bit. Over here is Clarence Center. So if we blow this out a little bit, Williamsville is where we just were. We just talked about Amherst a little bit. East Amherst, very wealthy. So honestly, once it starts to get, Williamsville is wealthy too. Don't get me wrong. But Williamsville is definitely wealthy. Don't get me wrong. But once you start hitting in these areas, luxury living just kind of gives a little bit different meaning. Even in Gettsville, there's some houses in Gettsville. I'll tell you that. Gettsville, closer to the UB, so you can see UB right here. Not so much closer to UB, but you kind of draw that little bubble right there. This part of Gettsville, it gets nice. I mean, there are some cribs out there. Average price out there, $450 easily, depending on where you are. Literally, we were just in a map. So if you guys didn't check out that between $200,000 and $300,000 price range, there was one house in Gettsville in between that price range. So you get in, and that was at the cusp of the $300,000. Literally, the cheapest house in Gettsville is probably $300,000. Easily. East Amherst, 500, 600. A lot of those homes are going for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. Clarence Center. Now you'll be able to find a couple things in the Clarence Center. Clarence itself, I mean, these are a lot of, I mean, the North Towns is really more luxury living. It really is. More true suburbia. Clarence is kind of that border of kind of like country / suburban. I always explain it that way. It's very, to me, Clarence is the North Towns. Hamburg is like the South Towns, and version of Clarence is the North Towns, if that even makes sense. And getting right into that, we'll actually swing down to the South now, because everything else outside of, once you get into Swarmville, I don't even go to Swarmville, to be honest with you, every now and again. Pendleton is nice, but Pendleton is as country as well. And then you really starts to get more into Niagara County pretty much once you kind of cross this border right there. So let's get into the South Towns a little bit, because this video is super long. But getting into the South Towns, the South Towns is country. Besides West Seneca, in Orchard Park, everything else is pretty much like that country southern border almost. Sloan is interesting. Sloan is inside of Cheektowaga. It's like a little village of Cheektowaga. But once you start getting into West Seneca, East Seneca, Lackawanna is actually its own city. It used to be booming a long time ago. Lackawanna is good. One thing about Lackawanna is it's extremely diverse. And the reason why that is because when Bethlehem Steel was there, they had everybody and their father working in there. It didn't matter. That was one of Buffalo's biggest factories. And a lot of people actually stayed. I mean, all types of immigrants came to work in Bethlehem Steel early on. 1930s, 40s, whenever it was. A lot of people lived there and stayed there. Obviously, people left, but the ones that did, this is probably one of the most diverse areas. Now, Lackawanna, it's a city, so it has its good and its bad. It's still, intertwined with Buffalo. But if you guys never been to the Botanical Gardens, I highly recommend you go there. I actually want to go back. I haven't been in a very long time. But I mean, it's the Botanical Gardens is definitely dope. They have like thousands of different flowers in there. I know it may sound kind of corny, but if you really think about how many flowers there are, and they got that many inside the Botanical Gardens, it's a beautiful thing. And they actually do like some events at night too, which is nice. So Blaisdell Woodlawn, this is one of our beaches here. This is actually Woodlawn Beach right here. Pretty dope. Blaisdell, again, we really starting to get into that kind of out of the suburban feel into more of the rural feel. Orchard Park still is very suburban, don't get me wrong, but once you get past right into Ellicott or Armour, all this gets country to me. I mean, you driving mighty long. Mighty long. Orchard Park, again, you're going to be paying $350, $300 easy. I think there's probably 4 houses on the market right now under $300,000 in Orchard Park. Other than that, I mean, this is the home of the Bills, home of the mafia. And so everything is there, and you really only have what's inside the village of Orchard Park. This East Quaker Street and what is that? Buffalo Avenue. On Buffalo Avenue is really where you have everything. Outside North Buffalo Street. Outside of Buffalo Street, it's everything else is just space. I mean, it's space. Orchard Park, but it's nice. One thing that it does have is a lot of parks and a lot of golf courses. I mean, it really attracts to that luxury style feel. This country club right here is dope. Never been inside because I'm not a member, but if you drive past it and you see 2 nice, beautiful fountains, you know what time it is. But this is a dope golf course. I mean, you cannot miss it. It's literally right inside the village, or just outside the village, I should say. But I mean, some houses out here, definitely quiet, peaceful. Nothing goes on out there. I mean, it's nice. Besides Bills games, very peaceful. A lot of people out here travel inside the city to do all their partying and things like that, if they even coming that far. From here to Buffalo is only about 25 minutes, so you can see Buffalo at the top here. So from Orchard Park to Buffalo is only about 25 minutes, 30 minutes if you drive super slow. After the game, we probably talking about 40 minutes or so. So anything past here, bang. Besides East Aurora, I mean, it's country living. I mean, East Aurora is literally it's like its own world. The dope part about East Aurora is that it's an open container community. It's like the only open container community, or one of the only open container communities around here. If you're inside the village, you can literally walk outside with a red cup. It's wavy, right? Beer cracked open, having a good time. That's dope. East Aurora is dope. If you guys have not seen that vlog, you may want to check that out. East Aurora, the town of Aurora, quiet country. Inside the village is it out there. It's it. They got Fisher Price toys in the village, and that's about it. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the greatest. I mean, to me, Buffalo is dope. There's so many neighborhoods, so many different things to offer when it comes to so many different styles of living. Again, if I had to sum it up, Southtowns is more rural. Definitely once you're hitting out to Elmwood, the more southern east you go, the rural it gets, right? Inside close to the city, which makes sense. You see all the green. Anywhere outside this green, anywhere outside this gray, it's country. Amherst is a little different just because yes, they have a lot of green, but it's still one of the largest suburbs around. And then you know it's Amherst. It's a prestigious place. You do get a lot of greenery, a lot of trees, but it is all the way suburban living. Nothing different from it. Everything else, I mean, this is pretty much the city. Everything above this area here, you're pretty much looking at Niagara County. For the most part, and then all this out here is places we don't even go, closer to Rochester, Attica, and all that stuff. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys need anything, make sure you guys hit me up with a call, email, text. Would love to be of service to you guys, especially if you guys are moving to Buffalo or you already in Buffalo looking to move around. Would love to be able to help you guys. Now it's about 2:06 in the morning, no exaggeration. Look how much. Look, I be working, man. I be working 2:06 in the morning, creating videos, giving information and value. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. As always, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.